Get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Salute to the GOAT, man. Salute to the GOAT. A lot of college athletics information, a lot of recruiting information to get to, and I will get to it over the next couple of days. But before we do anything, before talking, Bryce Underwood and Juju Lewis and all the college recruitment going on and the flips and all the stuff, all the media stuff. You gotta salute the GOAT, one of the GOATs, or the GOAT. You can actually make an argument towards being the GOAT, period. Mr. Geno Auriemma, who got his 217th win this week, the week of me recording this. And you gotta salute the GOAT, because what has happened, and I've been a huge admirer of his style of coaching. I've been a huge admirer of his from a distance. I've read quite a few of his books, a lot of the things that I try to incorporate into my leadership style, into my business. I've seen him from a distance. And the biggest takeaway from when it comes to all the success that Geno Auriemma has had is you can tell from a distance he can give a shit if you like him or not. All right, he can give a shit. I mean, I remember one book I read. It was actually written by a reporter who followed one of those undefeated teams really, really closely, and she was interviewing the players. And in the book, they were she had some of the players quoted in this book, and it was at the beginning of the book where one of the players go, "Look, Geno ain't for everyone. Geno is not for everyone." And you could feel it just through how it was written, where every player, and you saw it when you saw the ceremony, and when he got his win, all the former players came back to congratulate him. They actually brought out an actual GOAT. They brought in an actual GOAT, and he got to take pictures with the GOAT with his main assistant, which is Chris Dailey. And I remember actually reading about her and meeting her. It was when I first graduated from college, I was a college scout for a company named National Scouting Report, and female sports were one of the main things that we did. So I would go to a lot of these basketball tournaments, and I would see these UConn coaches there, like locked in, focused. And the main thing to take away when it comes to everything, when you're considering Geno Auriemma, especially for you business owners out there, it's you cannot give a shit about being liked. You got to learn to be respected. Learn to be respected, because one of the things that got consistently, one of his public persona, the image of him was that of a person who people really didn't like too much. All right, he came off as very brash, very much like an asshole, which again is what gets the results that you need to be getting. All right, there was a period there where it was like 2 years in a row or three, something crazy like that, where where UConn's women basketball did not lose a game, and now he has set the record for the most wins of any coach, any NCAA coach, I believe, in history. Regardless, I think it crosses over in all the sports, if I'm not mistaken. Again, you can go fact check me on that. But the bottom line to it is there's two things. I already mentioned the first one. The first one is there's two things to take away from this. The first one is, again, you cannot give a shit about being liked. You got to learn to be respected. And if people don't like you, hey, that's their business. Your focus, your laser-like focus has to be about getting the results, which in this business is getting the win. All right. Next thing you have to consider when it comes to the success and when it comes to the milestone that Geno Auriemma accomplished, when it comes to what he did, what he accomplished with the wins, is who was right next to him. All right, who was right next to him? Who's his right-hand man, so to speak? I know she's a woman, but who's his right hand, which is Chris Dailey, who was also honored in the same way that Coach Auriemma was. And the real takeaway, the real thing we have to consider, the real aspect towards leadership that we have to consider is how frequently does that happen? How often do we see a head coach or a leader accomplish the things that they've accomplished and have such a dominant program and be able to keep their assistant with them for over 40 years. I mean, 4 decades, 40 years they've been riding together, and she's been able to be that, person who's helped him along the way and deserves just as much credit as he does when it comes to all the success and all the wins. That's the key, is when it comes to bringing the right people in your circle, when it comes to bringing the right person to help manage your program or manage your business. These are just the most important decision that you can make. You can look at his situation. You can look at the situation with Phil Knight and how he built Nike. He's on record. Right now the name of the person is escaping me. Who he named? I think it was his track coach, if I'm not mistaken. But there was somebody that Phil Knight always mentions whenever he's talking about the success of Nike. If I'm not mistaken, it is the track coach that he had at Oregon that made him, that he also gives a lot of credit towards making his business a success. But the bottom line to it, and I'll close you out with this concept, I'll dive deeper into this excuse me, as I talk about the good counsel, the math of rivalry. I'll be discussing that today on the live stream, Tackling Turnover with Teamwork. Make sure you check that out Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But the main takeaway is when you're building something special, when your plan and your goal and your aspirations are to build something special, it's important that you bring the right person around, have the right person help you when it comes to the day-to-day, and keep good people around so you're able to establish the wins and establish the business, establish the foundation that you need to make it so your business lasts in the long term, all right? All that being said, main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, it's makeyommove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.